so it's kind of hard to see some of the game and some of the players. But it's kind of been a little bit of an enjoyable game.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like you said earlier, we're used to these first game being a scorching hot, cramps out here. I'm actually a little bit chilly right now.
Yeah, it's been a great game, and looking over the stats, as Mark said, Kendall Jackson deceptively has 84 yards rushing on 11 carries, which is pretty impressive, and Mitchell Gibbons having 2 major balls thrown tonight that have gone for touchdowns. So Wildcat offense, you'd love to see them get in a rhythm and to continue to stay in a rhythm.
Well, Hardin Valley's ready to go here. The Wildcats are ready, and we're about to get underway once again. The Wildcats have the lead, 20-0 is our score. Next week, the Wildcats are at home against the Dobbins-Bennett Indians. The Wildcats kind of took it on the chin last year when we went up to Kingsport. The Wildcats, we facing a good Dobbins-Bennett team. If I remember correctly, they don't miss a few. Very few players from last year's team are missing, so it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, it will be, and that's honestly probably one of my favorite games just from remembering playing back then. They were always competitive, and I think I may be wrong in this, but I think Oak Ridge has the most wins against Dobbins-Bennett, and Dobbins-Bennett has some of the most wins against Oak Ridge, so competitive rivalry.
Right, most definitely. It's very close. It's Hardin Valley getting ready to kick off here. We got a new cameraman. Oh gosh, here goes this camera. Look who's running it. 20-0 is our score. The Hawks are getting ready to kick off. They'll be kicking from left to right here. Standing back to receive the kick for the Wildcats is Jalen Hayward, standing back at the 5-yard line. Appreciate Mark and Shauna Hayes doing our statistics here. Brian Bennett, a late night for him. As here's the kick, it's angling to the sideline. Might be an offsides here. They might have jumped offsides or might not have been ready. We might have been offside. Well, they're signaling towards us, but James?
I got nothing there for you. I was actually watching the kicker and where he lined up. He didn't have he wasn't standing very far back, so I was wondering if they were going to try to do some type of pop-up or pooch kick or some type of onside, but he's got a pretty strong leg and actually got it down to about the 15-yard line or so.
So it's put back at the 40-yard line. Jalen takes 5 yards, steps 5 yards closer. As the second half is about to get underway, here it is. High pop-up kick once again. It's going to be fielded by the Wildcats. And trying to return the ball, the Wildcats fumble it. Ball is loose on the ground. And Oak Ridge, I think, has turned the ball over. Kind of fumble on that particular play. And one of the
it was Brandon Hayward there. Brandon Hayward, one of the upbacks, had it, and as he went in, the ball basically he was being tackled. The ball popped out, and it looks like that Hardin Valley would get it on the 26-yard line of the Wildcats.
He's a freshman. Tough play for him, and he looked a little tentative right there.
Yeah, he's a freshman, and freshmen sometimes make mistakes, but I have a lot of courage or a lot of faith in Brandon. He's a really athletic player. Hopefully we'll see a lot of good things out of Brandon in the near future.
So here comes the defense once again. 11:53 to play third quarter. They'll start this drive at looks like the 25-yard line. See if Hardin Valley can get their offense rolling here. We'll set the starters on defense here in a second for the Wildcats. First down 10. Back to pass. There's holding. No call. Floating into the end zone. This could be picked off. There it is. Picked off. Oak Ridge. I think it is. Cole Adams. That is number 1. He told me tonight he was getting 2. That's his first one. And good for Cole.
Good for Cole, and he was really just playing center field there. Drop back with his guy from his safety position as just sitting back waiting for the ball. The ball hung up there really high, and the Hardin Valley quarterback Simpson has done that 2 times, and it's kind of cost his team some points.
So back out on the field comes the Oak Ridge offense once again. First down, 10 yards to go. Now we'll set the offensive starters. Never got the defensive starters as the Wildcats have it first down, 10 yards to go. 20-0, the Wildcats lead. We're streaming live on YouTube at Prep Radio. We're also on FM 92.7. Mitchell Gibbons, a quarterback. Handoff, Kendall Jackson. He goes down after maybe 2 yards. Got kind of undercut that time by number 21. Gain of 2. Second down, 8 yards to go. 11:33 to play. been all Oak Ridge so far in this one, James.
Yeah, David, it has, and it looks like Jalen Hayward may be coming out here as he is, and Trey Rowe is coming in. Jalen limping a little bit, but Trey Rowe getting his first shot here at what looks like maybe a slot position.
Kendall a little banged up, and new trainer Brian Leffler over to attend to him down here as the Wildcats out on the 22-yard line. We're at second down and 8 yards to go. Mitchell Gibbons sends Jaden Williams in motion. Handoff goes to the new tailback, and he moves the ball for good yardage. Straight up the gut goes Trey Rowe for the Wildcats. Trey, he's been a good running back over the 3 years he's been a Wildcat. Hadn't seen a whole lot of action. As the Wildcats have it now, they're going to call it just shy of a first down. Third down, a long yard to go for a first. Brian Wyatt is the offensive coordinator for the Oak Ridge Wildcats. Has been for the last 7 years. Came with Coach Joe Gaddis from his previous stops. Third down, about 2 yards to go. Once again, he gets the handoff, and once again, he's got good running room. Trey Rowe picks up a 10-bank of Oak Ridge first down as he brings the ball up to around the 36-yard line, and then a flag comes in late.
Yeah, David, it was a really nice run there by Trey. He really stuck his foot in the ground. I think it was supposed to go off guard or right up the middle, and Trey stuck his foot in the ground, went right off tackle, and was able to get out for the first down, and probably about 10, 15-yard gain there as we're waiting on the signal.
10-16 to play third period. The Wildcats on top 20-0 as we play here at Hardin Valley. Good student section here. As I look over to my right here, a lot of Oak Ridge students here. Hardin Valley has a big section. It's going to be a dead ball foul against Hardin Valley, and it'll be Oak Ridge 1st and 10. The ball after the penalty is stepped up to the 41-yard line, 1st and 10. Lee Wexler along with Bryson Brown doing our top camera work. Christian Rosas Rodriguez along with Matthew Charles down on the field. Wildcats have it. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the Oak Ridge 41-yard line. Double wing once again. Williams comes in motion. Here comes the reverse handoff left side, running the ball for good yardage. Cole Adams. Cole gains about 10 yards, maybe 11. Nice run. His first carry as a Wildcat.
Yeah, it's a really nice play there as the Wildcats motioned Jaden Williams into the backfield, faked it to Trey Rowe, and Cole came from his slot position just to take the handoff. A little bit of a counter play there as the Wildcats were able to get across the 50-yard line for a first down.
9:52 to play, 20-0 Oak Ridge, the Wildcats, and Hardin Valley Hawks. Hardin Valley not an old school. Played them several times, though, actually, since their beginning. 1st and 10. Ball across midfield. Handoff goes Kendall Jackson back in the ball game. Kendall bounces to the outside. He's at the 40, 35, cuts back inside, breaks 2 tackles, and finally goes down, but not before he picks up yet another first down. He runs so hard. He is so strong, and he's quick of foot. Another big, strong run by Kendall Jackson.
What's impressive about Kendall is he just kind of spins out of tackles. You can't really get a clean shot on him, and I believe that he goes over 100 yards rushing there for the Wildcats. So Kendall Jackson over 100 yards tonight.
9.5 minutes to play here in the third quarter. 20-0 is our score. Following the game, we'll have player interviews and Coach Joe Gaddis. Whistles blow. You said something which is exactly correct here. No scrimmages for either teams, and that means the officials have not had any scrimmages. And I agree with what you said. They've done a pretty good job.
They have done a pretty good job. The weird delay after we came back was the only odd thing that took place there.
Wildcats have it. First down, 10 yards to go. Ball's at the 30-yard line of Hardin Valley. Mitchell Gibbons will pitch it back to Kendall Jackson. He's got a big hole. Kendall Jackson moves the ball for another 10-yard gaping hole run. It picks up another 10-bank of Oak Ridge first down. Kendall Jackson running hard, but what I like about it, the offensive line is doing really good work.
Yeah, it looked like on that play we had, I believe it was Kaysen Staggs, got that one right, that pulled around on that play from his guard position and was able to lead up in the hole. But you also had a nice block from our slot there. I believe it may have been Jaden Williams on an outside linebacker. So you love to see them blocking for Kendall and allow him to get those big holes.
And it's another first down for Oak Ridge. The ball, I think, is at the 15-yard line. The scorekeeper's gone to sleep here up on the bar on the scoreboard there. It'll be first down 10 as they set the ball down. The officials, once again, another long discussion. The conversation taking place with one of the Hardin Valley coaches. 20-0 is our score. Long night here at Hardin Valley. We're looking at 10:30 now, guys. Lee, do you have a date?
I don't have anywhere to be tonight, David. You know, as a college student, I got nothing going on tonight.
We know Bryson doesn't have anything going on. 9 minutes to play in the third quarter. Yeah, well, that's true. 20-0 is our score. We've had fun up here because it's kind of a casual atmosphere because we're in the stands here, James, and watching a good football game. Mitchell Gibbons hands it off Kendall Jackson. Kendall Jackson, not as much, but not bad, as he moves the ball forward for a gain of looks like about 4, perhaps. Looking at the angle, 8:48 to play third quarter, 20-0 is the score.
Yeah, David, one thing that you like to see here is Oak Ridge's offense is kind of just gradually going down the field and kind of getting in a rhythm. And I think we mentioned even as early as as late as last year, probably middle of the field or middle of the season is when Oak Ridge's offense really got going, the Mount Juliet game.
Looks like Kendall's cramping. He's out of the ball game. It's now second down, 6 yards to go for the Wildcats. Mitchell hands it to his right side to Trey Rowe, and not much up the middle there. It'll be for the Wildcats now. Third down, about 5 yards to go. 8:13 to play, third quarter, 20-0 the score. The last time Oak Ridge posted a shutout, you go back to the Campbell County ball game a year ago, and the Wildcats went up to Campbell County and just put it to the Cougars.
Yeah, and that was the start of the roll of the offense getting going, if I remember correctly, where Oak Ridge really needed that game to break out, and a lot of people weren't picking Oak Ridge to compete in that game, and the Wildcats really stepped it up and were able to get their season going from there.
Well, very rare start, an 0-2 start for the Wildcats at that point as Mitchell brings his team up third down. Looks like still 6 yards to go. Wildcats with Trey Rowe in the backfield. Mitchell back to pass, looks, flows it to the corner of the end zone. Nobody's there. Intended, I believe the closest man was Jonathan Stewart. It's incomplete. It's fourth down and 6 facing the Wildcats.
Yeah, it looked like Jonathan Stewart was running a little bit of a double move. He was trying to run a post and then cut back out to the very corner of the end zone there. Mitchell, it looked like threw off his back foot a little bit, so he wasn't able to get everything on that. But the good news on that situation is that Mitchell threw it where nobody could get it, and in the area of Jonathan Stewart.
Wildcats are going to go for it. The ball's at the 14-yard line of the Hardin Valley Hawks. Fourth down, looks like 6 yards to go. Kendall still out of the ball game, and Trey Rowe in. Wildcats have Jaden Williams in motion. Once again, Mitchell wants to pass. Once again to the end zone. Pass is there. It is caught. Touchdown, Wildcats. Oak Ridge on a great reception. A beautifully thrown pass by the Wildcats, Mitchell Gibbons. And then a nice catch. I believe it was our boy, Cole Adams.
It was Cole Adams, and I think that was probably not an understatement about how nice of a throw that was. Mitchell had so much touch on that he just got it over the outstretched arms of his defender right into Cole Adams, who was sprinting at full speed on that play and on that corner, very same corner route. Great pass, great catch by the Wildcats.
26-0, the Wildcats in the lead. 7:22 to play third quarter. Ball is down, the kick is up. Kick is no good, off to the right side. Take a quick timeout. We'll send it back to Brian Bennett. We'll be back for the Oak Ridge kickoff in 60 seconds. David Clary back here along with James Branson, Bryson Brown, Lee Wexler, Tyler Morris, Mark and Shauna Hayes, Kristen Rosas Rodriguez, along with Matthew Charles, our camera personnel. Wildcats on top by a score of 26-0. The Braves are on top of the Phillies 11-1 right now, so the Braves are going to maintain first place. As here's another pop-up kick by the Wildcats, angling to the sideline, then it goes out of bounds, and that'll be a penalty against Oak Ridge. He's done a pretty good job in the previous kicks to that one. Maybe thinking about that missed extra point a moment ago. Let's see if they take it at the 35, and I believe they will. I like the way this Oak Ridge football team's playing. They've got a lot of weapons. They've got a lot of speed. And let's look at this. Last year's, I thought probably slowest is not the right word. They lacked as much team speed as we're accustomed to seeing in an Oak Ridge team. This team's got a lot of speed.
Yeah, and I think one of the things is that Kendall Jackson, if you think about him last year, he didn't start getting going until about the third or fourth game of the season. And your fastest person, which I think was Isaiah Johnson, was on the outside, so you can only throw so many deep routes until he starts getting double covered. So it was very hard to get those people out and open, but this year it's almost interchangeable speed-wise.
26-0 Oak Ridge, 7:22 to play third quarter. They're going to run the ball, and a couple tackles broken. Then Wildcats make the stop here, and the stop is made by, looks like Jacob Bervin, number 38. Let's check some of those numbers in there. I see Kai Hirsch is back in. Looks like one of the Hawks is down on the play. We have an injury timeout. Let's see if he's okay. He's okay. He gets up a little slow, a little wobbly though. So it looks like he's going to have to leave the playing surface here. Artificial turf here. Last time we were here, I believe it was artificial. I can't remember. We had the rain problems that day. We saw some slippery conditions early on in this one, but the good news is the rain has stopped.
Yeah, David, and I think one of the things that would be unique to bring back when Hardin Valley originally became a school, Oak Ridge and Hardin Valley had a quote-unquote rivalry, and they played for the Battle of the Bridge trophy or whatever, and that'd be kind of cool to bring back out and whenever these two teams do meet.
Little piece of trivia, when Hardin Valley opened up their football facility, do you know who scored the first points on this field?
Was it Robert Austin?
No, I think it was Bradley Zulliger, actually.
In a freshman game.
In a freshman game. It was a safety, actually.
Yeah, I do remember that now. I'm remembering Robert Austin. He recovered a fumble in the varsity game that same week, and maybe blocked a kick or something like that.
Yeah, the first first game ever played on this field was a freshman game between Hardin Valley and Oak Ridge, and we scored their first 2 points. We scored the first touchdown on the field, so all of their firsts in terms of were Oak Ridge scores, I believe.
And it's very unique, and that's a little bit of a callback there. Bradley Zulliger, what a career he had, going to be a great quarterback for the Wildcats, a record-setting quarterback up until Johnny Stewart recently.
The injured Hawk is coming off the field. It might have been a cramp. He's just kind of wobbling off the field. I think he's okay, though. 7:05 to play.
Oh, I was just going to say Ryan Nickel, the injured Hawk.
It'll be second down, 8 yards to go. Matthew Swigert's in the ball game. Cole Adams. Looks like Jalen Hayward there. Jalen Elam. Bervin in the ball game, along with Brian Kelly. Back to pass. Here comes Jackson Adams. There's a pass down the way. Pass is going to be almost intercepted again by the Wildcats, but pass is going to be incomplete. What a play by Preston Turner back in the first quarter. 91 yards if you just tuned in. The second longest pass reception in Oak Ridge history. We're talking, of course, they didn't pass back in the days when Mike Sheehan played back in the 40s, but
1966 is a long time ago, and offenses are very different from when they were in 1966.
Yeah, the longest is Gary Butner back in 1966, and Preston went 91 yards today, and that's number 2. As who would have ever thought that Scott Fisher would have the longest run in the history? Preston Turner, I would guess, honestly, that he might have a long reception, but not Scott Fisher. Third down, 8 yards to go for Hardin Valley. Quarterback back to pass. Pressure. There was holding. Pass is going to be complete. They should have called holding up here. There was so much holding of our defensive linemen. It is a completion and a first down. There was so much holding, though, James.
Yeah, and I think Hardin Valley is just kind of at the point where they're just throwing everything deep because that's their only shot at this point. I believe it was Jacob Green that went right up the seam there and kind of faded toward the inside to give Simpson a shot for the Hawks, but would like to see that one come back.
First down, 10 yards to go for Hardin Valley. The ball is at the Oak Ridge 45, 6.5 minutes to play third quarter, 26-0 Oak Ridge. Handoff goes to the back and about 2, not much more than that. Straight ahead run, knocked down by the Wildcats. Looks like Boone, perhaps, one other. Morgan Joseph Morgan. I think he goes by J.K. Morgan. Yes, his dad was a member of the Wildcats back when Coach Gaddis's first stint here back in the day. Ball's at the 42-yard line of the Wildcats. 6:11 to play. 26-0 to score. I think he and Mike Lorendine were on the same team back in the late 80s.
That's gotta love Big Cat. Anytime you can give him a shout out.
Second down, 8 yards to go. Not his brother Tommy, though. We'll just keep him out of it. 5 minutes, 56 seconds to play, third quarter. Second down, 8 yards to go. Quarterback rolling to his left. Lots of pressure. Fires a pass. Intercepted, Oak Ridge! Wildcats return it to the 40-yard line. What a return. He just stepped in front and returns it.
Man, David, I tell you what, is the Wildcats were just putting so much pressure on Simpson all night long. Trey Rowe, it looked like in there, was about to sack him, and the quarterback was rolling out, just had to get rid of it, and just threw it to a wide open Jaden Elam. And Jaden Elam races up the field for a nice return up to about the 40-yard line.
Jaden Elam is another legacy. His dad was John Elam, who played for the Wildcats back in the day, too, for Coach Gaddis in his first trip as the head coach. Here comes the Oak Ridge offense once again. First down, 10 yards to go. 26-0 our score. The Wildcats starting this time at the Hawk 42-yard line. Mitchell in at quarterback. Hands it off to Trey Rowe, who moves the ball to the 40-yard line. A lot of students here. Not much social distancing, but I can say they do all have their masks at least around their necks.
It's always nice when you have students come out, because that really makes the atmosphere of high school football. That's one of the best parts about high school football, is having students that are involved, and that gets the crowd going and gets the team going too.
26-0 Oak Ridge, 5:14 to play in the third quarter. Brian Bennett at the station, Mark and Shauna Hayes doing our stats. And fun game so far. Here's Mitchell handing it off to Jalen Hayward. Moves the ball to the 40. Not much running room there, so it'll be third down and long facing the Wildcats. If you're looking at our live stream on YouTube, the camera angle is low because there was no space in the press box for us here, James. We've been in this situation before, but never when we had a monsoon. But luckily, the Hastes brought these two really nice tents here, but we still had to evacuate them and head to the car. But we did stay dry. The camera, and surprisingly, all but Bryson's camera, still everything works. Surprisingly, as the Wildcats, Mitchell Gibbons throws it up the field. Oh, nice spinning catch. Does he make it? Yes, he does. Brandon Hayward, the freshman. Great catch, spinning as he went out of bounds. Good basketball player, good football player. His brother is Jalen Hayward, but what a great catch by the freshman.
Really nice throw there by Mitchell Gibbons as well, to put it on the outside shoulder, only where Brandon can get it. Brandon spun around, really soft hands, caught it, was able to keep at least 1 foot in bounds. Nice design there, though. Originally, they faked it to Jaden Williams. They kind of bit on that, and Brandon Hayward was able to use his speed downfield and beat his defender.
Mike Sheehan is saying Gary Butner is on his team. I told James that as the Wildcats have it 1st and 10. Handoff goes to, once again, Trey Rowe once again. He moves the ball forward to close to the 10 and beyond. It'll be for the Wildcats second down, 3:56 to play, third quarter.
It's a really nice methodic drive for the Wildcats, as they're able to show a little burst and speed with the receivers out there, but also being able to run a little ground and pound.
Wildcats looking for their play once again. 26-0 is our score. It'll be for the Wildcats first down. They say goal to go. I think it is not that. Looking at it, they've got it up on the scoreboard. Mitchell's going to pass, hands it off. Right side, Jaden Williams into the end zone. Touchdown, Oak Ridge. Jaden Williams with the touchdown. Touchdown. That's all I can say, James.
It's a really nice play there by the Wildcats, as they've been motioning Jaden Williams all night into the backfield and haven't done anything with it, and they motion him again into the backfield. Mitchell with a nice little handoff. Jaden uses his speed to cut around the edge and right off a block by one of the slot guys into the end zone for a touchdown for the Wildcats.
32-0 is our score, and the Wildcats will go for the extra point. Looks like Dunham once again will attempt the extra point. 3:24 to play third quarter. 32-0 is the score. Here's the snap, the hold. The kick is up, and it is good. 33-0 Oak Ridge. The Wildcats over the Hawks. We'll send it back to Brian Bennett. We'll be back with a Wildcat kickoff yet another time in 60 seconds.
I knew you missed it.
I'm going to redub that one. Welcome back to Hardin Valley Academy. David Clary, James Branson, Tyler Morris, Bryson Brown, Lee Wexler. Another Oak Ridge kick, this time by Camden Malcody. It's going to be bouncing and it's going to be fielded by the Hawks, trying to get up the sideline. The Wildcats hem him in. I don't know how good this Hardin Valley team is, but I think the Wildcats have really looked good here in this one.
I think the Wildcats have looked good, and I think, no offense to Hardin Valley, they look a little shaky still. For example, just on some of these pop-up kicks, another pop-up kick there, they're not stepping up to field it. They're not stepping up to call a fair catch. Michael Spurgeon there was the one that kind of waited on it to drop and return, but he only was able to return it for a few yards because of the coverage of the Wildcats.
It's one of the bigger scores we've had in the Hardin Valley series over the years. Here's the Wildcats lead at 33-0, 3:17 to play. The Wildcat defense has been good. They've picked off a pass with Cole Adams. The Wildcats picked off a pass with Jaden Elam as the Wildcats lead it 33-0. It'll be 1st and 10 Hardin Valley. The quarterback from the shotgun hands it off to number 10, and Brian Kelly drops him right at looks like the 40-yard line, and he's fired up about it. I went to Buddy's Barbecue the other day, and the guy serving me was Brian Kelly.
He's a really great guy. And David, you were mentioning about the scores between Hardin Valley and Oak Ridge have been very close, except for 2011, 2012. 2011, the Wildcats won 42-7, and 2012 it was 47-6.
So we have an opportunity to get a little history in this series here as the Wildcats lead it 33-0, 2:45 to play. Second down, 9 yards to go. Hand off to the number 10 once again, and moving the ball to the 41-yard line. I think they know their fate here. They're just kind of trying to get back into the house, I think.
Yeah, David, and I think they realize that by throwing the ball, they're not really going to get anywhere. They've had 2 passes picked off. I think they really understand that Oak Ridge's defensive line is playing really well and not letting them get more than 1 or 2 yards at a time. So just try to run it, kill the clock as much as possible, and get back to the house.
Big Nick Dallas in the ball game right now for the Wildcats. Love to see Big Nick out there. Looks like
played good at tight end. Had some nice blocks for Kendall earlier in the game.
He told me he was the best blocker of the group, but perhaps that's what he told me. 3rd down, 8 yards to go. Once again, handoff goes to number 10. He wants to throw it. Fires the pass out. He throws it away. Closest person to it. Well, the Wildcats, looks like Drew Thomas was the closest one, and he's over on this Oak Ridge sideline. It'll be 4th down and 8 yards to go.
I think you meant Michael Spurgeon was the intended target for the Hawks with Jaden Williams defending. But, yes, wisely thrown out of bounds by the running back there, and it's going to be 4th down. So it looks like Jaden Williams dropping back to receive the punt instead of Jalen Hayward this time.
I was thinking about this, James, here. You in a game like this, you'd think about bringing in some subs, but since you haven't had any scrimmages, you got to let these guys get a little playing experience against a good Dobbins Bennett. Shanks the punt. Comes off to the sidelines, going to go rolling out of bounds at around the 35-yard line. That's what I was thinking here. I mean, you want to get new players in the ball game, but these guys weren't able to scrimmage. So you want to get them some game time experience because Dobbins Bennett's going to be better than this Hardin Valley team.
Yeah, David, and it may seem like we're running up the score by keeping the ones or one subs in, but like you said, they need the experience, they need the game time to get in that rhythm. You don't want to take a step back next week, and it looks like Dobbins Bennett, as you said earlier, is going to be really good because they were keep putting it on Bristol earlier.
We're going to have scores at the end of the quarter here. 33-0 Wildcats, a minute 41 to play. I'm going to sit down here for a little bit. You know, I'm an old man here, James. I know. It'll be Oak Ridge first down, 10 yards to go. Ball is at the 35-yard line, and play is halted, and a timeout is asked for. Let's take it with them. We'll send it back to Brian Bennett. 33-0 Oak Ridge, back in 60 seconds.
Sean, I liked your picture early in the week where you said like game day prep is taking over the living room.
It still is.
David. Sorry. David Clary back here along with James Branson and a host of others here. We'll get their names on eventually. Minute 41 to play. Third quarter, 33-0 the score. The Wildcats have it. First down, 10 yards to go. Mitchell Gibbons still in at quarterback. Trey Rose, and there Jaden Williams. Jalen Hayward, two receivers split to the right. One of them is named Adams, I believe. Mitchell's going to hand it off. Trey Rowe. Trey Rowe gains about 5. Brings the ball up to around the 40-yard line before the Hawks stop him. Hawks wearing some really navy blue, not the baby blue that they normally wear. They're wearing navy blue, basically.
Yeah, they're wearing navy blue, and I think when we walked in, I was like, it looks like we're almost playing Farragut tonight with the blue-on-blue look and white helmets. But one nice thing is to get your subs in here for the Wildcats.
33-0 the score. Mitchell Gibbons, second down, 5 yards to go. Jaden Williams in motion. He's going to hand it off to Trey, and not much running room there. Going to ask here, camera guys, are you struggling to being so low to the action?
You know, David, I'm not really struggling here. Of course, you know, these top cameras are used to being up a little high, but, I mean, I think I'm doing a great job.
Bryson?
I mean, I wouldn't tell myself I'm doing a great job, but I'll say okay. I'm doing an okay job.
Except for the fact that we're down a camera.
And some tapes.
It'll be for the Wildcats. Third down, 5 yards to go. Ball is at the 40-yard line. 30 seconds to play. Low snap. Mitchell passes caught. Oh, it's incomplete. Jaden Williams, I think the internal clock, or Mitchell Gibbons knew there was somebody coming in behind him, delivered it a little bit quicker maybe than he wanted to, and Jaden just couldn't quite catch it, and the Wildcats will send in their 2 punters.
Yeah, David, and the Wildcats were able to get a couple of other players in there on that series. I think I saw Matthew Swigert in at receiver as well as Brandon Hayward again. So no Cole Adams and no Jonathan Stewart. So trying to get those other people reps for when you'll need them for depth later on in the season.
33-0 is our score. The Wildcats in the lead. 23.9 seconds. 2 punters back there. This one goes to the Jacob Irvin. He punts it end over end. It's going to take a great bounce. It's going to roll